Check. Crypto, we are back. We've been gone for a while. So, a little crypto and portfolio update, especially with this one right here, HBAR. So you're gonna want to stick around, stay tuned, like and subscribe. Let's get straight into this one. So as you all know, we've been gone for a while. Side hustles, bro. That's it. That's what I picked up over the past few weeks, 2 months. That's why I've been gone for a little while. Picked up a little side hustle because the market's been slow. That's why. So what I do when stuff like that happen, I go outside in the real world, get some side hustle, whatever you can bring back, and just build your little portfolio slowly. And then that's what's been going on lately. I haven't had time to make much content. I've been in and out of Twitter, dipping in and out of it. Sometimes you see me post stuff, sometimes I don't. I just couldn't be bothered because when you're outside, but that's it. So yeah, shout out to you all who've been DMing me, Nak, come back, Nak, we need an update, Nak, video. But yeah, it is what it is. Just sometimes when you caught up, man. It's just crypto's not life, man. There's a whole life that we're living outside of this crypto realm, the little bubble that we into. And sometimes I just walk away from it and clear my head, get away from the net, go do something productive outside of crypto, and then bring that bread back into crypto to build this right here. Shout out to our portfolio. We've been growing. Last year when I did this update, I think we was at $30,000 or something, and now we just shy of 70k. Thank goodness. Today we're down though. I don't know why. Maybe it's because Bitcoin is down, but yeah, it is what it is. That's what I do, just be slowly building this. And if you look at the coins that were our winners, if I had to give it to one project that I've invested over the past 3 years, y'all seen it on this channel, it's this guy right here. I'm telling you, that's the big giant that I have, HBAR. The last time I made this update last year and I showed people this portfolio, I had almost 100,000 HBAR token, more than that I think, and I sold some of it to diversify into another project, and that project was SUI, because SUI, I seen it was at like 80 cents or something to that nature. Shout out to Mr. Zuni. Mr. Zuni picked up SUI early too. It was sub $1, and if you look at SUI today, it's at $4, bro. And that was a great decision that I made, because I just saw HBAR. I'm like, you know what, no matter what, you can always come back to HBAR. We bought it at 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents, under 10 cents. We was DCAing into HBAR on a weekly basis because I needed that big bag of, or decent bag of HBAR. But then, sometimes you need that second plane of waves. So every bull market, that's what I do. Like last cycle, I had Cardano as the OG and dogecoin as the newcomer. People used to watch my old videos. You've seen I had like almost 300,000 dogecoin at one point because I was buying it under pennies, when Elon and them wasn't even getting in. So you can see I still got about 40,000 dogecoin tokens. Not that much, but this is from the 2019 bag of Doge that I had. Dogechain wallet, now it's gone, it's extinct, but man, that wallet at the time, if you remember EOBot, we used to mine Doge digitally with EOBot, where you can rent these servers and just they mine it for you. And I collected a lot of Doge back then. It was at 4 zeros and or something. Dogecoin was super cheap, and that's why I picked it up. That's why I say, like, every bull market I have like an underdog and an OG coin that I just be holding on to throughout the cycle, and whatever it does what it does. Crypto's up and down, and sometimes you win, man, on those ones. And my savior last cycle was ADA and Doge. ADA as the OG. You seen me banging people's chest, yo, ADA at 8 cents, ADA, Cardano. And then you had Doge as the newcomer, and Doge did what it did, man. It ran up to almost $1. People who made bread now, we all made bread from it. And this cycle I picked HBAR, and I was looking for a newcomer. At one point I was like, man, maybe it's gonna be SHIB, because I'm thinking SHIB is gonna do this cycle was what Doge did last cycle. But then I'm like, maybe I need that up and coming newcomer, and that's where SUI came down the line. and SUI just swift, and this is credit to Mr. Zuni, and because Mr. Zuni was talking about SUI early. Like I didn't even know what SUI was, but you know, look at SUI, bro. Still on 11th, and we're gonna talk about the little hack, Cetus hack, the protocol on top of SUI shortly. But yeah, let's just do it now. But yeah, and SUI just became like the underdog that came in, and I'm looking at it like, yo, you know, the same thing Solana did back in the days and stole the show from Ethereum's NFT marketplace and whatnot. If SUI manages to pull that as centralized as this Chinese, as people are saying, then yeah, definitely, man, it could be big. That's why I had like almost 100k HBAR, sold some of it into SUI, and that investment is doing well as well, you know. And that's the power of this thing. Like your portfolio, you should track it multiple cycles, just slowly build your bag, track it. Sometimes, you know, you can take profit, sometimes you follow your own intuitions, because you just never know in this market. You know, there's a lot of coins that are in here that are like really stagnant. They haven't really done much in multiple years, but the power is just that sometimes you have that few, you know, 1 or 2 projects that are really big, and then use the little ones to build back these bags, and just one day, hopefully in a multi-year cycle, it's gonna become something. You're gonna win big at something, you know. And that's the game for me, multiple cycles. This is what I did last cycle with Cardano, and y'all seen the portfolio. We went from like 5k to almost 200k, and that was just a big win. And this time around, I think HBAR SUI could do it. And I got some DeFi plays. Y'all seen the ones I've been talking about here, especially in the DeFi realm. If those ones perform well, that money is coming back to either HBAR or SUI, like long term, you know. And as for SUI, you know, the hack that happened with them, Cetus network or something like that, I think there's a protocol that a guy just took the bread, I think 200 million or something like that, and yeah, look at them. Cetus is offering a 6 million bug bounty to a hacker after that 200 million theft. And this is the reason why crypto will probably never ever be respected in the real financial realm. You know, it's silly stuff that's happening like this. When people say a blockchain is decentralized, this is that, and a blockchain is too centralized, it's too small. I've heard this story before, like SUI has, like, you can never be a validator on SUI because it's only a small group of entity that control it. Sort of like, you know, the Binance Smart Chain thing. It's a small knit circle of entities that just control that. You can never ever be a validator over in SUI. You have to have a lot of money to be able to do that. So maybe large exchanges like Coinbase and that they're able to do it just like they're doing it over at these other networks like Solana and whatnot. So my take on this is just like the banking system as you know it. You know, people who sell you centralization. The banking system as you know it has never failed you since the day you was born. You've been transacting with your parents, been transacting with Visa and MasterCard. They've been swiping their debit card for as long as you remember. You've never seen them go somewhere in a shop, swipe. Somebody said, oh, the bank has failed you, the card is not working, and somebody hacked money into the bank and it's gone. You only see stupid stuff like that happen in crypto. Why? Because of incompetent development. This is why you can never trust no one in crypto. Crypto has been trying to move towards Satoshi's vision and decentralization and all this other stuff, but these are just, they pulling a wool over your eye. Every blockchain that you know and their mother that's been pushing towards decentralization, somehow someone always have control of something. Large amount of control of the network, large amount of control of the coin, control of certain functions and hidden functions that you never knew about, that somehow they can shut down the chain, they can roll the chain back, they can do all these other stuff. That is why I said all of this stuff is just a big giant fat lie. They're selling you a technology, but behind the scenes They can pull the rug anytime they want to. And this is just part of it. Like SUI itself, the protocol wasn't hacked, but see this network which became so big on top of SUI, someone figured out a way to do this and take millions of dollars out of it. How do you expect crypto to be trusted now with stupid stuff like this happening on up and coming chains? It not only gives SUI a bad name, but it also gives like the incompetent developers that built this protocol a bad name. Like, yo, how didn't you see this coming? And usually, you know, it's not just some random Fiverr dev or them North Korean boys that did it. They studied your code and they figured out a way to steal it. Now, normally stuff like this is just inside jobs, bro. Is that one bitter dev that's been angry that like, yo, you haven't been paying me, you haven't been doing X, Y, and Z? Okay, cool. I got one of the keys. I know how to roll this back and take some bread out, and they pull it off. You know, that's why Celsius and Luna and all of this stuff was so big when it happened, because they try to play bank. And crypto people, we always look down on the banking system because it's too centralized and it's this and that. And I'm always reminding people, as centralized as the banking system is, Visa never failed you. They're processing millions of transactions per second. Ain't no single blockchain with the best technology in the world beating Visa right now in crypto. Never. They're just BSing you, selling you technologies that they can never ever like even look up to those people. But yet we so quick in crypto to say centralized is garbage, centralized is rubbish. Yeah, it is, indeed it is. Someone can pull the plug at any time. But why can't y'all mimic the real world in crypto and build the system? I don't care if it's centralized or decentralized. The system that's too big to fail. We haven't seen it in crypto. Centralized or decentralized, you haven't seen the system in crypto that haven't been hacked. Slowly been operating and no one was able to touch it. Everything is vulnerable in crypto. Every single protocol. People sell you the best technology ever. Sometimes it's down, sometimes it's had trouble. Start from Bitcoin in the beginning. How someone was able to hack it and mint billions of BTC. This is early 2010, 2011. The Bitcoin developers swept it under the rug. And they swiftly rolled the chain back and got the bad actor out, and they quietly did it and they fixed it. That's it. Which means Bitcoin itself is was centralized from the beginning. Like I was reading a Reddit post right the other day, and Satoshi, I think some guy said Satoshi, the group, the entity, or the individual, whoever he was, early when he started mining Bitcoin in 2009 and he sent the transaction to Hall Finney and all these other devs, Satoshi was too humble with it that initially when he started mining the blocks, he realized he was controlling 100% of the network. So what he would do, he would send BTC and miners to these other developers, BTC early cypherpunks, and he would get them to turn on their miners. So every 10 minutes he would turn off his miner so that he would avoid that centralization aspect of BTC. That's how he was able to mine 1 million Bitcoin off the get-go, because he was the only miner on the network. He was running the whole network, so he was transacting on top of his network. So Satoshi was so humble with it. Every 10 minutes, I read this on Reddit a while ago, he would turn off his miners and he would allow the other early miners to also mine and you know, run the network as well, help people transact on top of BTC and whatnot. Those are the kind of ideology like that you don't see these days. You just see greed. Developers rushing to build blockchains, rushing to build anything, protocols or whatever, just to earn fees off of people on a regular basis. But they don't really care about the security of the protocol they built. They don't really care about the network that they are transacting on. They don't really care about the problems that can occur. And people in the real world will have a hard time trusting you as a protocol, you as a builder, if you keep moving like that. You keep being incompetent. How you handling millions of dollars in terms of transactions in volume on a daily basis, and just one day you wake up and tell some stupid things to people who brought money into your protocol and your network that, hey man, $200 was taken off, man, someone hacked me, they figure out a way to hit the wrong function and it's gone. This is the reason why after 8 years of me being in crypto, almost 9 years, I have reason to believe crypto will never ever be adopted in the real world like that. Ever. Like they may use some aspect of our technology and whatnot, but as far as like using us as a day-to-day money to use and whatnot, nah, it has to take that project that is so powerful enough to defeat Visa and MasterCard and the people that you are banking on a day-to-day basis with. It's gonna take a project with that caliber to take over those people and beat them at their own game of security. Look how secure Visa is. They went from 100,000 transactions per second to processing millions of transactions per second. They don't need a single blockchain. People always say that, and I'll be laughing. I was like, you think Visa needs you? They don't need you, bro. They won already. They've been doing it for decades. How you gonna defeat them? PayPal and them, and they winning. You think you're gonna come over there as a blockchain and take over those people's network? How you gonna do that? You know? How you gonna even get them to trust you if your stuff is not even working sometimes? What explanation you gonna give them if someone comes to your blockchain, trust you, tokenizing themselves on top of your blockchain, and you just do all over them and tell them, hey man, we got hacked, it's gone, like $500 billion just got out of this, and you want them to trust you, bro? Like Solana, like shout out to them, they doing this as well, you know. And seeing stuff like this coming into crypto now, even the Solana devs, they better be careful as well, because this is great news, you know. Kraken Partners backed launched to you know, some X stocks, I think 50 stocks or something, are gonna be tokenizing themselves on top of the Solana network. While this is great news, we don't want to hear no more of Solana being down for 7 hours anymore. Like, touch wood, that haven't happened over the past few years, but we haven't had news of that happening. But we don't want to see stupid stuff like this happening in the future, because those real world assets now, those RWAs tokenizing themselves on top of Solana, they're gonna be wondering, where's the bread? Well, what do you mean the network is down? You know, and this is the downfall of crypto. This is why we can't be trusted in anything. People think I just be doodling on people's technology and incompetence and whatnot. I'm not shitting on your technology because I'm shitting on it because I want you to be better. I want you to build something that's so robust and decentralized, it can never fail. It can never have any dumb issues and whatnot, if you want the whole world to come and transact on your network, so that your token would be used as gas, like what the Solana people are doing, because this is going to benefit Sol, you know. Like HBAR and them, they did it wrong. Like, as much as I like Hedera, HBAR and that, they did it wrong. Meaning they had partnership with Google, IBM, and all of these other network entities, right? But the problem with them is that these companies, I don't think they're holding little to zero HBAR. These are big. You can see Google right here, LG, Dell Technologies. You can see a lot of these are tech companies. But they partnered with the HBAR Foundation to do what? To use the distributed ledger technology, the technology that HBAR have. They came in here as governing councils and whatnot, but how much HBAR are they holding? And companies in crypto always make this mistake. If they do that, man, our portfolio, we're gonna be to the roof. The HBAR would be at $25 or something. But companies in crypto would get out of crypto and they would go sell their technology, instead of selling their technology hand to hand with their token or their project, whatever they tokenized. If you're selling Hedera, the technology, you should sell HBAR along with them if you're making business with these giants right here. And I think Solana just cracked the code with this. If they pull this off, that means all of those 50 stocks that are going to be tokenized on top of the Solana chain, they're going to be forced to transact on Sol, which means more fees for not only Solana Foundation, but also Coinbase, because they got a big validator over there too. And the base ecosystem can benefit from this if Brian Armstrong decided to bring that bread back to base. And Solana, Anatolian, they can benefit from that. That's a genius move. And I think Hedera and that, this is where they should be headed. Like, if you getting any of these real world companies, they coming with their billions of dollars in assets and whatnot, and they want to tokenize themselves on your network, figure out a way to get them to buy your native asset as well and hold it, and not just use your technology and not care about your crypto price or your stock price and whatnot. And that's the problem. It's like crypto companies, they're ashamed of it because they don't want those big companies to see this, to look at the charts and see, oh look, your stock is so down, and to go over here and look at how much the token, who's holding the most tokens, you know, who controls the supply, who does this, who does that. They hide that from the public because they know usually the foundations and whatnot, they be holding a lot of tokens. So automatically, by default, these real world companies are smart. They're looking at it like, yo, you control most of your network and you have a large holdings of this stuff. I'm not gonna buy your stuff, but I will use your technology though to benefit me and myself. And that's the problem with crypto. You need to figure out a way to get them to buy your HBAR or even hold it at some point. Make some kind of deal with them. It's a business, right? The merchant walk in, customer walk in, walks out happy with the product. The vendor, he received the money, he also gets something out of it, you know, and that's the game. Like, but crypto people have the game inverted. They want to make you believe that price doesn't matter and all this stuff, but it does, because you as a crypto inventor, or you a cryptocurrency founder or whatever, you created a cryptocurrency. People come, you have early investors that bought the thing from very low price. You just gonna abandon them and go sell your technology to some Google or whatever foundation, and you forget about your early investors? And when your early investors talk about price and chat, you want to get mad at that and say, no, we're not focused on the price and chat. We want to focus on selling this technology to the world. But the whole world can buy your technology. If they're not touching your price, nothing you build is gonna be like, what's the point of doing that? You know, when everybody knows this deep down inside, this is the money game right here. You know, the winner is HBAR. And the reason why I think HBAR did so well and it went up is not because of Google, IBM and LG and all of these companies. No. It's because of the network. It's because of the use case. It's because of AI studios, DeFi, and all of these things being built on top of the Hedera network. And I've said this a year and a half ago when I was making my HBAR videos, and people are like, yeah, you kind of make a point there. I was like, yeah, that's what's gonna take us to the next level. People that are coming in on a daily basis using HBAR itself to transact, using HBAR to do DeFi and whatnot. You know, the wallets, social swap, things that are being created on top of that. If you go to DeFi Llama, you would see that the ecosystem thrives on one of these things. I said the people that will utilize the HBAR token itself to transact with it on a day-to-day basis, to lock it up, to stake it, to do, those are the people that are helping run the network. And somehow these foundations, they don't have, I don't know if they have the know-how or whatnot, but they just not willing to push their price out there. And if you study the real world stocks, Amazon and whatnot, they always be selling their stocks to these other companies. Why can't you do that in crypto? Why in crypto people must be ashamed of their crypto price to go and include it in your whatever sale you're selling? Because you're selling people a technology that They're gonna use your technology, all right, but it's not benefiting your price. So y'all seen the game. Yeah, that's why we are still here. That's why altcoins are still stagnant underneath Bitcoin, and I don't like that really. We're supposed to be decoupling from Bitcoin as early as 2020. But look at this, BTC only going up. 110, 111,000 new price discovery, new all-time high, and all this other stuff. Because Bitcoin put itself out there in the world. When the Bitcoin OGs are marketing BTC, you notice they always only talk about price performance. Everywhere, Anthony Pompliano and all these guys. If you go look at all the Bitcoin OGs, all of them, Adam Back and everybody, they always talk about price of BTC. When they go to CNBC and all of these major news outlets, they don't give a damn about Bitcoin's technology is better than gold and whatnot. They telling you price performance. Look at the BTC over the past decade about gold. Watch the debates. I've been watching the debates for years between the Bitcoin OGs and people who are in the real world stock markets and whatnot. When they sell BTC to the world, they selling you the price. That's why Bitcoin is able to do this stuff. That's why countries are adopting it as a legal tender. Why? Because of network effect and price performance. Network effect, price performance. If those countries knew how slow Bitcoin is and how garbage it is in terms of slowness, man, they wouldn't never ever touch it. But the Bitcoin OGs are smart. All they're showing you is a big old giant chart from 2011 and tell you, yo, if a decade ago you did this, you would have been alright. This is what they're showing you right here. That's the all-time chart of BTC. This is what I see at CNBC and whatnot. I never see them tell you Bitcoin's technology is better than gold. Ever. They don't even talk about the tech. Think about what I'm saying, people. And that's the game. Like, you have to have been here for a long time to be able to peep this and see how Bitcoin marketed itself very well. And altcoins, they're busy talking about my technology is better than yours. XRP failed at this too, horribly, miserably. Like, they always trying to make deal with some banks for the banks to use their ledger and not XRP itself. That's why when you see them have these for the last 7 years, a lot of these banks that were using Ripple, they just used Ripple, the technology. They didn't give a damn about XRP. That's why it's here. Because these companies don't have the ability to just sell their stock just like those people are selling their stocks. You sell them XRP. Tell them whatever deal we are making, get my token price involved in this too. They don't have the ability to do that. That's why we're here. That's why altcoins are always begging for Bitcoin. Bitcoin will go up first and then they bring you the Bitcoin dominance chart. And when the chart goes down, that means that these BTC people would have mercy on alts and start looking into Ethereum and all these other ones and say, let's buy them. And then when they buy these, we get the crumbs. We always get the leftovers, the altcoin market. When it's actually the better tech is altcoins, better price performance overall when it comes to BTC long term and whatnot. Like, Bitcoin did well long term, but altcoins you make significant gains with them. How come over the past decade they haven't been able to decouple their market from Bitcoin? We need that separation so that we don't have to rely on Bitcoin going up 2%, Ethereum going up 5%, and Bitcoin going down 2%, Ethereum down 10%. Like, and Ethereum down, or all these ones are also hit because the liquidity in the market is all like correlated and whatnot. But if they kind of decouple it, that would be better. I think protocols should have their branched liquidity, and large asset class like this, they should decouple. All these pairs, USDC, BTC, ETH and whatnot, separate them so altcoins would have their own market, and I think we would see a better price performing world or whatnot of asset class. That's just what I've noticed, man. This is why people think I don't like technology and whatnot. I like the tech, price go hand in hand with tech. But in crypto, we always selling tech, and no one cares about price, and that's wrong to me, because that's BS. Because if you study Bitcoin and how they pulled it off, go and look at the debates. Go and look at the top Bitcoin debaters that are selling Bitcoin to the world. What they are showing you, they're showing you a gold chart and a BTC chart, and they win the debate right there. I rest my case. Yeah, that's what I've been doing, man. People, I don't want to drag this for too long. I've been on for like almost a half an hour now. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Just slowly build my bag. I don't care if it's DeFi, whatever you involved in. You are into Hex, pulsechain, or you doing Zen. You're still minting Zen. Shout out to all of my Zenians that been minting Zen a lot and burning Zen or whatever. Whatever you're doing, find that leeway of just a few projects that that long term they can do something for you, and focus on building your portfolio slowly with those ones, and take profit. Sometimes you can reinvest, you can remint, you can do whatever. But if you win in DeFi, you can bring it back to your long-term plays, or whatever you want to do with your bread is you and you alone. That's what the beauty about crypto is. Your decision at work is how you gonna build a multi-year portfolio to the point where you're gonna reach that pedestal of retirement finally, where you don't have to work anymore. You don't need no side hustles or none of that. You can just live off of that stuff for multiple years to come, and you don't have to worry about answering to a boss or going to a 9-to-5 and whatnot. This has been our goal in crypto for like almost a decade now. And I think after next year is going to be a decade of me being in this game. And after that, I think I might have to, go find something else. And like I would play crypto in the background and whatnot. But February 2026, it's going to be a new beginning for me, And I'm trying to look at how am I going to pivot into something else. Because that's what I do. Before I was into crypto, I was in another field, and I was doing that for a couple years, and I did well with it. And then I saw crypto. I'm like, okay, you can make a little bit more money with this. And then I just jumped on it. And along the way, throughout my journey, I appreciated everybody who followed suit, man. Like, everybody who, supported the channel. We exchanged plays, we gave each other alpha, we helped each other, and that was the goal and purpose of this channel. Just the little people, because when I came into crypto, the little guy was always intimidated. The people with the little bread, they didn't have much money, they didn't know what to do, what to buy, what to invest in. They didn't have a platform or a leeway. So that's where Nakamoto Crypto came in. This is why I started my channel in 2020, while everybody was looking at Ethereum and all these other coins. And I'm like, yo, ADA's right here at 3 cents, 4 cents. I mean, this Hoskinson guy, like whatever he's talking about, you might want to pay attention to what he's building. And you just take a leap of faith. And I started watching his live streams and all this other stuff. And I created my own channel, and I was talking about Cardano when the price was at like 8 cents, and the rest is history. It's people that watch this channel that made millions. Shout out to Engine Man, who made his first $1 million just with Nakamoto. He would come on live shows wherever I am, and he would remind people, yo, man. I didn't even know. A lot of people didn't even know what crypto was, but they were just watching my silly little goofy videos, and just me not even knowing what I was doing. But I just had that. You have to have that conviction sometimes in whatever you're in, and just give it a little bit of leap of faith. And sometimes you had the good guys that will help you get to your journey and destination. And to see Charles face this kind of backlash, though, I don't like that stuff, bro. It's like, give people the benefit of the doubt, bro. People accusing Charles Hoskinson of doing all of this stuff, and they just trying to bring you down. And that's the thing about being a crypto founder. People are always trying to bring the good guys down, especially those founders who has been here for over a decade. Like I've said this on the Richard Hart video to remind the postcons and whatnot, like, yo, guys like Charles Hoskinson, even Richard Ells of Electroneum, man. If someone's been here for multiple cycles just trying to control his network, just trying to help people. They receive little to nothing, these guys. I know, look, his arch nemesis, Dan Laramie, the EOS guy, he received $4 billion and he haven't done jack, nothing with it. He spent it with all his developers and he left the EOS investors to dust, network dead. Charles only received a $66 million ICO, bro. And he turned that into a multi-billion-dollar empire right now. It's people that made millions of dollars with ADA. At one point in 2021, people checked the stats. It was almost 7,000 millionaires on chain. With Cardano, with ADA alone, they just bought at 2 cents and they sold at $3. You know? This dude, man, like a lot of people got rich because of him. And he's so smart, like he tries to shy away from the price and stay away from it because, you know, he don't want to jam himself up. But I say, Charles, embrace that sometimes, you know, because it's crypto. Amazon and Elon Musk and all these, they're always talking about Tesla stock and whatnot. So crypto founders and whatnot, they should embrace that stuff too. And that's the beauty about this game, you know. And the technology and the developers and like the stuff that he came up with, him and his devs, from the ground up, people should remind people of the great things Charles have done, and not just, oh yeah, nah, I'm gonna accuse him of taking stuff because he doesn't like me or all this other stuff, or I don't go to, like, people put those things aside, you know, and just remember over the past decade who did what for who in crypto. This is the reason why no matter how much people call Richard Hart a criminal, I'm like, yo, he pulled it off with Hex, with a small group of his investors and people that believed in him. Some of them made millions of dollars, and that's part of this game. Like Charles, you know, he was always the good guy, man. I'm gonna give him the benefit of doubt on this. I don't think he did nothing malicious or bad, you know. And people make bread. They made bread. They continue to make bread in his ecosystem. And all the promises he was telling us he was gonna do years ago, he did. He said we was gonna move from the Byron stages to Shelley proof of stake, and we did in May of 2020. Everybody started staking ADA and making money. A year later, he said smart contracts was gonna come. They came. Gogan. Rogan after Gogan, Charles, you know. And that was the dope thing, man. He delivered. And you got a functioning blockchain and people are making money and governance is going on now. Cardano is like 72 to 75% decentralized. The network is not just controlled by him anymore. It's everybody else is the stake pool of operators. And now you're able to vote now on the Cardano ecosystem. So he's working towards decentralization and doing all of these amazing things, and people are just shitting on him. Like, I don't like that stuff, bro. I mean, I give people the benefit of that. I don't care, especially if somebody's been here for multiple years, doing the hard work and helping people prosper. Because most of us, we don't got time to be doing no technology like that. Everybody else just be working. In crypto, they got their jobs and their lives and their full times. So if you see a group of people that have that time and dedication to like roll up their sleeves and build these robust networks that don't get hacked, and they develop a good side and they people use them to make money and whatnot, hey man, bless. I'm just gonna leave it at that, bro. I'll be back with a little bit more though. Like up the video, share it, subscribe for some crypto content. I have been Mr. Nakamoto Crypto, and I'm out.